Manitoba. Manitoba is a province of Canada and the longitudinal center of the country. It is Canada's fifth most populous province with a population of 1,342,000 as of 2021, of widely varied landscapes from Arctic tundra and the Hudson Bay coastline in the north to dense boreal forests, large freshwater lakes, and prairie grassland in the central and southern regions. Indigenous people have inhabited what is now Manitoba for thousands of years. In the early 17th century, British and French fur traders began arriving in the area and establishing settlements. The Kingdom of England secured control of the region in 1673 and created the territory named Rupert's Land, which was placed under the administration of Hudson's Bay Company. Rupert's Land, which included all the present-day Manitoba, grew and evolved from 1673 until 1869 with significant settlements of Indigenous and Métis people in the Red River Colony. In 1869, negotiations with the Government of Canada for the creation of the province of Manitoba commenced. During the negotiations, several factors led to an armed uprising of the Métis people against the Government of Canada, a conflict known as Red River Rebellion. The resolution of the conflict and further negotiations led to Manitoba became the fifth province to join Canadian Confederation. When the Parliament of Canada passed the Manitoba Acts on July 15, 1870. Manitoba's capital and largest city is Winnipeg, the seventh most populous municipality in Canada. Winnipeg is the seat of government, home of the Legislative Assembly of Manitoba and the Provincial Court, four of the province's 5 universities, all 4 of its professional sport teams, and most of its cultural activities, including Festival de Voyage and Folklore, are located in Winnipeg. The city has train and bus stations and an international airport. A Canadian Forces Base, CFB Winnipeg, operates from the airport and is the regional headquarters of the North American Aerospace Defense Command. Manitoba is bordered by the provinces of Ontario to the east and Saskatchewan to the west, the territory of Nunavut to the north, and the U.S. states of North Dakota and Minnesota to the south. Manitoba is at the center of Hudson Bay drainage basin with a high volume of the water draining into the Lake Winnipeg and then north down to Nelson River in Hudson Bay. This basin is river reach far west to the mountains, far south into the United States, and east into Ontario. Major watercourses include the Red, Assiniboine, Nelson, Winnipeg, Whiteshell, and Churchill Rivers. Most of Manitoba's inhabited south has developed in the prehistoric bed of glacial Lake Agassiz. This region, particularly the Red River Valley, is flat and fertile. Receding glaciers left hill and rocky areas throughout the province. The province has saltwater coastline bordering Hudson Bay and more than 110 lakes covering approximately 15.6% square kilometers of its surface area. Manitoba's major lakes are Lake Manitoba, Lake Winnipegosis, and Lake Winnipeg, the 10th largest freshwater lake in the world. A total of 29,000 square kilometers of traditional First Nation land and boreal forest on Lake Winnipeg's east side were officially designated as UNESCO World Heritage Site known as Pimachon Lake in 2018. Bardley Mountain is the province's highest point at 832 meters above sea level, and the Hudson Bay coast is the lowest at the sea level. Riding Mountain, the Pembina Hills, Sandlands, Provincial Forest, and the Canadian Shield are also upland regions. Much of the province's sparsely inhabited north and east lie on the irregular granite Canadian Shield, including Whiteshed, Arctic, and Nopimi provincial parks. Extensive agriculture is found only in the province's southern area, although there is grain farming in the Carrot Valley region near the pass. Around 11% of the Canadians' farmland is in Manitoba. At 2021 census, Manitoba had a population of 1,342,000, more than half of which is in Winnipeg, its capital. Although initial colonization of the province revolved mostly around homesteading, the last century has seen a shift towards urbanization. Manitoba is the only Canadian province with over 55% of its population in a single city. Other cities including Brandon, Steinbach, Winkler, Portage la Prairie, Thompson, Selkirk, Malden, Dauphin. Manitoba's economy relies heavily on agriculture, tourism, electricity, oil, mining, and forestry. Agriculture is vital and is found mostly in the southern half of the province, although grain farming occurs as far north as the pass. The most common agricultural activity is cattle husbandry, followed by assorted grain and oilseeds. Manitoba is the nation's largest producer of sunflower seeds and dry beans, and one of the leading sources of potatoes. Portage la Prairie is the major potato processing center. Richardson International, one of the largest oat mills in the world, also has a plant in the municipality. Manitoba's largest employers are government and government-funded institutions, including Crown corporations and services like hospitals and universities. Major private sector employers are the Great West Life Assurance Company, Cargill Limited, and Richardson International. Manitoba also has large manufacturing and tourism sectors. Churchill's Arctic wildlife is a major tourist attraction. The town is a world capital for polar bear and beluga whale watcher. Manitoba is the only province with an Arctic deep water seaport at Churchill. CFB Winnipeg is Canadian Forces base at the Winnipeg International Airport. The base is home to flight operations support divisions and several training schools, as well as the first Canadian Air Division and Canadian NORAD region headquarters. 17th Wing of the Canadian Forces is based at CFB Winnipeg. The wing has three squadrons and 6 schools. It supports 113 units from Thunder Bay to the Saskatchewan-Alberta border and from the 49 spiral north to the high Arctic. 17 Wing Act has deployed operation base of CF-18 Hornet fighter bombers assigned to the Canadian North region. Both English and French are official languages of legislature and courts of Manitoba. Manitoba has two Class 1 railways, Canadian National Railway and Canadian Pacific Railway. Winnipeg is centrally located on the main lines of both carriers and both maintain large inner modal terminals in the city. Via rail offer transcontinental and northern Manitoba passenger service from Winnipeg's Union Station. Numerous small region and short-line railways also run trains within Manitoba. The Hudson Bay Railway, the Southern Manitoba Railway, Burlington, Southern Santa Fe, Manitoba, Greater Winnipeg Water District Railway, and Central Manitoba Railway. Winnipeg James Armstrong Richardson International Airport, Manitoba is the largest airport. Is one of only a few 24-hour unrestricted airports in Canada and is a part of the national airport system. A new larger terminal opened in October 2011. It is the 7th busiest airport in Canada by passenger traffic, serving above 4 million passengers in 2018 and 11th busiest airport by aircraft movements. The airport handles approximately 200 tons of cargo annually, making it the third largest cargo airport in the country. Winnipeg is the major sorting facility for both FedEx and Purolator and receives daily transborder service from UPS. The Port of Churchill is the only Arctic deep water port in Canada. It is nautically close to ports in northern Europe and Russia than any other ports in Canada. It has 4 deep sea berths for the loading and unloading of grain, general cargo, and tanker vessels. The port is served by the Hudson Bay Railway. The port and railway came under the complete community and indigenous ownership in 2021 after AGT Food and Ingredients and Fairfax Financial transferred their shares in Arctic Gateway to One North, a consortium of community and indigenous partners which owned the other 50% of Arctic Gateway's shares. In education, public schools follow a provincially mandated curriculum in either French or English. There are 65 funded independent schools in Manitoba, including 3 boarding schools. These schools must follow the Manitoba curriculum and meet other provincial requirements. There are 44 non-funded independent schools which are not required to meet those standards. Public schools in Manitoba fall under the regulation of one of the 37 school divisions within provincial education system, except for the Manitoba band-operated schools, which are administered by the federal government. In 2021, the provincial government announced a plan to merge all English language schools division into 15 regional catchment areas overseen by a provincial education authority. There are 5 universities in Manitoba regulated by the Ministry of Advanced Education and Literacy. 4 of these universities are in Winnipeg. The University of Manitoba, the largest and most comprehensive, the University of Winnipeg, a liberal arts school, primarily focused on undergrad studies downtown. Université de Saint-Boniface, the province's only French language university, and the Canadian Mennonite University, a religious-based institution. The Université de Saint-Boniface, established in 1818 and now affiliated with the University of Manitoba, is the oldest university in Western Canada. Brandon University, formed in 1899 and is in Brandon, is the province's only university not in Winnipeg, the capital. Manitoba has 54 public library systems. Of those, Winnipeg Public Library has the largest collections of at 1.1 million items as of 2020. Festivals take place throughout the province, with a large centered in Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Folk Festival has annual attendance of over 7,000. The Festival de Voyage is an annual 10-day event held in Winnipeg's French Quarter and is Western Canada's largest winter festival. It celebrates Canada's fur trading past and French Canadian heritage and culture. Manitoba's museums document different aspects of province's heritage. The Manitoba Museum is the largest museum in Manitoba and focuses on Manitoban history from prehistory to the 1920s. The full-size replica of the Nonsuch is the museum showcase piece. The Manitoba Children's Museum at the Forks presents exhibits for children. There are two museums dedicated to the native flora and fauna of Manitoba. The Living Prairie Museum, a tall grass prairie preserve featuring 160 species of grasses and wildflowers, and Fort White Alive, a park encompassing prairies, lake, forest, and wetland habitats, home to a large herd of bison. The Canadian Fossil Discovery Centre houses the largest collection of marine reptile fossils in Canada. Other museums for human rights is the first Canadian National Museum outside of the National Capital Region. Winnipeg has two daily newspapers, the Winnipeg Free Press, a broadsheet with the highest circulation number in Manitoba, as well as the Winnipeg Sun, a smaller tabloid-style paper. There are several ethnic weekly newspapers, including the weekly French language La Liberté and regional and national magazines based in the city. Brandon has two newspapers, the Daily Brandon Sun and the weekly Wheat City Journal. Many small towns have local newspapers. There are 5 English language television stations and 1 French language station based in Winnipeg. The Global Television Network, owned by Kanye West, is headquartered in the city. Winnipeg is the home to the 21 AM and FM radio stations, 2 of which are French language stations. Brandon's 5 local radio stations are provided by Astro Media and Westman Communications Group. In addition to the Brandon and Winnipeg stations, radio service is provided in rural areas and smaller towns by Golden West Broadcasting, Chorus Entertainment, and local broadcasters. CBC Radio broadcasts local and international and national programs throughout the province. Native communication is devoted in indigenous programming and broadcast to many of the isolated native communities as well as large cities. Manitoba has 5 professional sports teams: the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Canada Football League, the Winnipeg Jets National Hockey League, and the Manitoba Moose American Hockey League, the Winnipeg Gold Eyes American Association, and the Boreal FC Canadian Premier League. The province has previous home to another team called the Winnipeg Jets, which played in the World Hockey Association and National Hockey League from 1972 until 1996, when financial troubles prompted a sale and move of the team, renamed to Phoenix Coyotes. A second incarnation of the Winnipeg Jets returned after True North Sports and Entertainment bought the Atlanta Thrashers and moved the team to Winnipeg in time for the 2011 hockey season. Manitoba has two major junior-level ice hockey teams, the Western Hockey League's Brandon Wheat Kings and the Winnipeg Ice, and one junior football team, the Winnipeg Rifle of the Canadian Junior Football League. The province is represented in university athletics by the University of Manitoba Bisons, the University of Winnipeg Westmen, and the Brandon University Bobcats. All three teams compete in the Canada West University Athletic Association, a regional division of U Sports. Curling is important winter sport in the province, with Manitoba producing more men national champions than any other province, while additionally in top 3 women national champions as well as multiple world champions in the sport. The province also hosts the world largest curling tournament in the MCE Bonspy. Although not as prominent as ice hockey and curling, long track speed skating also features as notable and top winter sports in Manitoba. The province has produced some of the world's best female speed skaters, including Susan Oak and the country top Olympic model Anna's Cindy Klassen and Clara Hughes. In summary, Manitoba is one of the provinces of Canada which was confederated on 15th July 1870. Its capital, Winnipeg. Largest metro, Winnipeg region, with a total area of 649,000 square kilometers, around only 548,000 kilometers squared. Water, which is 101,000 square kilometers, ranked 8th by total area, which is 6.5% of Canada. Total population as of 2021, the total of 1,342,000 population. Ranked 5th, demonym Manitoban, official language English and French, with 2 time zones, UTC-6 and UTC-5. Thank you very much for being with us. Today we have focused about Manitoba, one of the Canada provinces. See you in other coming videos. Bye.